we really need to sit down and go over what's happening in this whole David case, because LAPD has finally dropped some details. Not exactly what anyone was hoping for, but little bits of information nonetheless. The last time this came up, things had already taken a really disturbing turn when a Tesla that had been sitting in an impound lot in Hollywood was checked after someone reported a strong odor, and inside police found Celeste Rivas, who had been missing for over a year. The vehicle was under the name of the singer David, whose real name is David Burke. And at first, people assumed maybe the car had been stolen since he was out touring, but once Celeste was identified, everything shifted. Fans started rethinking their stance as more information surfaced. What really unsettled people was that David had a tattoo that matched one Celeste had, the letters Esh-8 on a finger. And online detectives quickly pulled up old photos of them together, supposed Discord messages, and even a leaked track where he mentioned a girl named Celeste. Things spiraled further when it was noticed he had recently been spotted with another woman also named Celeste, which made the internet question what was going on with him. Suddenly, folks started revisiting his stage shows that featured coffins and funeral-style themes, saying it all felt dark in hindsight. And then old interviews came back where David described his alter ego Atomy as a criminal version of himself who commits crimes that David later solves, even referencing a video idea where Atomy ends up in the trunk of a car. Officially, he has not been labeled a suspect, but suspicions online grew quickly. He has since canceled both his US and overseas tours. His team and label stopped pushing his music, and he has gone completely quiet on social media since Celeste's identification, even though he was active right before. What's unsettling many is how little LAPD is revealing. So the internet has been digging through archives, with even a private investigator sharing updates about what he's found. The public is locked in and desperate for answers. LAPD confirmed the Tesla had been sitting in one spot for weeks before being towed, which led them to believe Celeste was inside for an extended time. Captain Scott M. Williams stated she was placed in the front trunk, though the coroner has not determined the cause or manner of death yet. Online chatter speculates that if David was somehow tied to this, it would have had to happen before he left for tour, since he hasn't been seen in Los Angeles afterward, but for now, everyone is watching closely as these eerie connections keep stacking up.
You guys watched my video from earlier today where I shared the fact that David went back home in between shows earlier this month and how he used a private jet to do so. Well, since I posted that video, I was sent a couple of things, documents, and I was also in contact with someone who is directly involved in all of this. So I want to clarify a couple of things. So the first thing is that according to friends of Celeste, she was last in communication with them at the end of July. We don't have a specific date. We just have a rough ETA, end of July. She stopped responding back to messages, stopped sending messages out, okay? Now, David was supposed to be starting his Wither tour on July 30th, 2025. That is according to original merch that he put out for this tour. He was supposed to perform in San Francisco on July 30th. He was supposed to perform in Phoenix, Arizona on August 1st, and then was supposed to perform in Del Mar, California on the 2nd and on the 5th. The first 3 shows, however, were canceled. He didn't start his tour on July 30th. He instead started the tour on August 5th, 6 days late. So I'm wondering why shows were canceled and why his start date for tour was ultimately pushed back. Is it a coincidence that the time period that he was unable to perform just so happens to be the same time period that Celeste stops communicating with her friends? Now let's fast forward to August 26, 2025. David is away and he's on tour. A neighbor in the area where his Tesla was ultimately abandoned called and complained over this vehicle being left there for, quote, an extended amount of time. David's Tesla is abandoned, i.e. parked on the side of the road for weeks up to a month without being moved. If David was responsible for Celeste's death, he had to have done this before he went on tour. Now, I know earlier today I posted this video right here of David in between shows. He posted this video on September 1st, 2025 from home, and it was posted to his prayer page, and I assumed that this was his home in LA, but I was looking at his older TikTok videos, and it appears that this home is actually his mom's home, his childhood home, and this is in Texas, which would make sense. He took a PJ from Canada to Texas to perform with Kali Uchis on August 31st, 2025, so it's probably likely that he, instead of flying all the way back to LA, just went to his parents' home in Texas. So right now, based on the facts, I don't see any proof indicating that David flew back to California in between shows while he was on tour. Could he have? Definitely, but if we're just going off of facts.
In connection to his parents' home, it was reported on Tuesday that David's family residence in Texas was the target of a swatting incident on September 18th, just days after Celeste was found. A 911 caller claimed there were gunshots, screaming, and chaos on the property, prompting a heavy armed response from police, but when officers arrived, David's parents answered the door and appeared shocked. Inside, they confirmed 4 people were living there, though David himself was not present, and after realizing there was no real threat, authorities treated it as a false swatting with no incident report filed. Meanwhile, TMZ has been tracking every detail of this case, highlighting online conversations about whether the Tesla's cameras may have captured anything. People know the cars can record those walking near them, but that function only works if Sentry Mode is activated, and it's unclear if it was. LAPD is investigating whether any video exists, but it looks unlikely if the feature was off. TMZ also noted the Tesla Model Y linked to David has functions that can send push alerts to the owner, such as when the trunk is left open longer than 10 minutes, meaning David could have been notified if something unusual occurred, though there's no confirmation he had notifications enabled or used the app. Another rumor TMZ put to rest was speculation about Celeste being pregnant after alleged Discord screenshots suggested David had said so. Those messages now appear fake, and the certificate confirmed she was not pregnant and had not been in the past year. As of Monday, Captain Williams stressed that investigators are not pursuing a suspect or person of interest, which is significant since so much suspicion online has been aimed at David, but LAPD has not identified anyone. As the case continues, more about Celeste's life has surfaced. An ex-boyfriend from middle school said she had a troubled home life and that her mom mistreated her, adding that he wished he had done more. In March of last year, her sister reportedly went to Delgado Spirits in Lake Elsinore asking to check security footage to see if Celeste had run away, and the store owner gave it to the Rivas family to help. He explained this was not the first time Celeste had run from home. The same owner described her as not a wild girl, saying she often came in for soda, chips, and gum, while law enforcement sources confirmed she ran away due to family issues. All of this has left the situation more unsettling, with people having far more questions than answers. David remains silent, likely on his lawyer's advice as he is not a person of interest, but internet sleuths continue dissecting every lyric, interview, and timestamp, refusing to let the case fade. The reality that a young girl was discovered in such a horrific way with no justice or closure so far is what has left the public most devastated.
So you mean to tell me that they have not named David as a suspect as of yet in this whole Celeste Rivas Hernandez case, you guys? So I don't know if you guys saw Good Morning America this morning, but they're saying that, they still haven't named him as a suspect in this whole thing. They're trying to see what was weird to me is that they were trying to say on Good Morning America, they're trying to figure out if a crime actually was committed. And I said, that makes no sense, Good Morning America, because clearly a crime was committed if the little girl was found in his Tesla. Okay? I don't know. I don't know what the police know at this point in time, but what we do know, what they're saying is that the family allegedly was aware of this relationship between the singer David and their young daughter, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, which is sick.
I definitely want to know what you all think about everything that's going on right now, because this entire situation is just absolutely wild, and it honestly feels like there's no end in sight at all. I'll make sure to keep you guys updated as more comes out, because the twists and turns just keep happening and it's honestly hard to wrap your head around it. But I love you all so much. Thank you for following along with me through all of this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.